Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
Let's do a couple of other smaller stories before we get to the big national news. This one potentially could affect us and our loved ones, as Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has announced a bill that would close up a few of these legal loopholes regarding THC in the state.
Whoa. What?
Yeah. So there's a 2019 Hemp Farming Act, which allowed for the growing of hemp that did not exceed 0.3 concentration of Delta-9. Delta-9 is the main intoxicating ingredient in marijuana.
So wait. I thought we don't want government getting involved in what we're doing.
It's not how it works, bud. You want them involved in stopping what you don't want other people to do. That's the key. You don't want if you don't want people to be able to go to drag brunch, get the government involved. You don't want them to smoke weed, get the government involved. You don't want them to get an abortion, get the government involved.
Okay, if you don't want someone to do something,
get the government involved. It is, frankly, kind of a weird situation we have here where marijuana is illegal in the state of Texas, but you can absolutely buy products that will give you the buzz of the marijuana that you buy at a dispensary out VJ's way, or from your buddy who owns a chinchilla's house. I must be the only guy who had a dealer who was into exotic animals.
I don't know what a chinchilla is.
I think it's like a little.
They're very cute.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like
they're a little gray.
Yeah, it looks like a guinea pig type thing.
I've always
it
thought
looks like a rat. It looks like a rabbit had sex with a guinea pig and they had a baby.
They're very cute.
I've always thought dealers had like lizards or tarantula.
It's the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sword. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Kegerator.
Bullet hole in the above the couch in the wall.
No,
that's a chinchilla.
Oh, it looks so cute.
It does. Yeah, it would just be like crawling on my guy's head.
Definitely ferret.
Yeah.
The ferret.
I had ferrets for a while.
Neither
was named Jake.
Those are bad news. I saw one.
They're creepy a little bit.
You guys remember back in the day? I think I've talked to Blake about this before, and this transferred down to his age. When they had like legit pet stores at the mall.
Oh yeah, of course.
And the wall at the mall in the store would be full, almost like it was like a Foot Locker, where there would just be animals in the wall, in little cages stacked, high. And I remember going one time, and they had a handful of ferrets. There's probably a name for it, in a in a container, not a cage, but like you could play with them. And one of them ripped a girl's earring out. They're feisty little guys.
Yes.
You had two or what?
I had two, Chaos and King Mob.
God, that's
I had him for 2 years. I had him for
so
2
homeschooled.
Well, I had him as an adult. I had him.
Well.
I had him the 2 years before I moved to California, but they're illegal in California, so I had to give them away to someone. But they are nuts. Like they would run directly into the fireplace if I did not stop them. They were insane. But they are cute little guys. I was sad to have to let them go because I want to take it to completion, like Dan in his book. I wanted to have them the entire 3 years they live. But they were cute little guys.
See, that's why I'm glad we're not California in my Texas.
You're right. You can't even have a ferret.
Can't even have a ferret out there in Gavin.
Wait, but you can have pot.
Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you have a ferret that smokes pot? I don't know. I literally, the ferret thing is like an old law that I remember. There was like they were trying to get Schwarzenegger to change it. It was like he was really close to doing it. There was this whole like what's it called where you're signing a petition or whatever. It was like Schwarzenegger allow ferrets.
Anyway. It was specifically about ferrets. They weren't just considered under some.
I have again. It was probably some ferret like ripped someone's nose off in like 1965, and they just made it illegal. I don't know.
I want to move somewhere where there are no ferrets and the pot flows like honey. That sounds like my kind of place.
I don't understand.
I don't have a guest
anti-ferret.
room, but if I did, you know.
You don't have a guest room?
No, I did.
Showrunner and
but,
executive
yeah.
producer?
Well, I'm paying for 2 places. I'm in the middle of a divorce, so like I don't have a guest room at my
congratulations.
place.
Congrats, or I'm sorry. How do you say that to somebody?
I don't know. That's what everyone asks though, but I'm just always like, I'm fine. So congrats.
Are you okay?
What's your
doing
kids'
all right,
age?
man?
They're 14 and 13.
I knew they were older.
That's a bad
Yeah.
bit then.
No, they're handling it all really well, and they're great. I love them. But they're at that age where it's like, can they have conversations with adults, or are they going to say something completely inappropriate like they're 9? You know.
Do they think your job is cool?
Probably
my
not, because you live
13-year-old
out
does.
there and there's so many cooler
No,
people.
when they came to set for the madness and they saw that I was in charge of it, that it's like said showrunner on the chair and that everyone was coming to me, and my 13-year-old's like, oh, you're in charge of this whole thing. I could tell he was like, he thought that was cool. And he started asking me, do people recognize you anywhere? And I took him to Comic-Con. I'm always on panels at Comic-Con. So they got to see me up in front of people. So they think I'm kind of important.
Boy, Mom was not happy that weekend. You never like to go home back to Mom after you had like a weekend on the boat with Dad?
Oh, yeah.
Because now it's like, get to bed and do your homework. And,
Right. Do some chores.
Yeah, I was just having the greatest time of my life. We went
Yeah.
to Cedar Point. We went on the boat, and now it's this. And I'm on a movie set. I'm doing this.
Right.
Dad's important, and now you're sitting there yelling at me?
You don't run anything.
Yeah.
He runs shows. Boring. Is any of this going to be played in court?
No, there will be no court.
So the top story.
Famous last words, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't always go that way. This situation we have here involving the CEO of a company, UnitedHealthcare, one of, if not the largest healthcare provider in the nation, is absolutely insane. The CEO, Bryan Thompson, was gunned down broad daylight yesterday morning. Shot in the back. Have you seen the video, Dan?
No.
Okay, well, we can play it for you here. This guy's the CEO of a very, very large healthcare company. He's just walking in Midtown Manhattan. It's morning, but it's still light. And a guy you can just see on a closed-circuit television, just John Wixon.
Okay.
You're 1, 2, gun jam, 3.
Well, he's pretty far away. Yeah. I thought he'd get up closer to him.
Silence pistol.
Yeah, he puts one more on him right there.
Now he's getting up close. Then there was a witness, huh? He just kind of scooted out of there.
Yeah.
And he just
Would you
walked
do
over.
that? Would you scoot out, or is new Jake going to get involved?
Am I going to confront a guy with a silenced pistol that I just saw kill someone in cold blood? No, that's a little different than the guy at the laundromat bitching at the.
Well, kind of like
nice
the guy
old
in the
lady.
madness. I'm like, I'm hiding in the swamp. I am not now going to then go engage and try to fight this guy.
See, I thought about that too, but I don't know how long
But I guess the
It's-
point is you'd have to hide there overnight. And
Yeah,
whatever.
and he did know jujitsu.
Yeah, they kind
worked
of laid
that
that
in.
out in the beginning. Like, this
Yeah.
guy's kind of a badass.
Right.
He's not
like
me.
superhero, but
Yeah.
enough. But no, this is an insane story, and the guy has not been caught yet. As of
Oh,
about
really?
the time we started the show this morning, there are some new photos released of this individual.
Nude photos.
New photos.
Oh.
It's NYPD's calling it a premeditated targeted attack.
You think?
No pun intended. For
Yeah,
the
that's not
healthcare
just-
provider.
Road rage or
Yeah, that guy cut me off.
Yeah.
Took my parking spot.
Um,
Oh, I
Put
got
the
my,
silencer
I got my
on.
silence pistol with me.
but obviously the conspiracies. Let me just tell you this: I don't want anyone to die by murder. But yesterday, Twitter was a very, very entertaining place because obviously what you get is people will start looking into what they know about UnitedHealthcare. And there are a number of things. They lead the league in denial of claim rate. They were currently being investigated, and I believe Bryan Thompson, who, by the way, the BBC ran a story where they talked to a bunch of his coworkers, and it actually, a listener sent me this, it actually has the line, Bryan Thompson, or as he was known around the office, BT.
Jeez.
was going to have to testify regarding some technology that they had implemented that used artificial intelligence to process and decide to deny claims, often for life-saving care, but that technology had something like a 90% error rate. So you have non-humans assessing whether or not humans deserve to live, or at least get the money to live, and he was going to have to testify for that. There was also, I believe, a lawsuit involving some firefighter unions that had an issue with UnitedHealthcare. And again, they deny a lot of claims, more than most, if not the most.
Yeah, healthcare's a bad bet, man. It's tough.
Computers and AI should not be allowed to make life-changing or decisions because they cannot be held accountable. That has to be a person doing it. I mean, you just think back to Dr. Strangelove, and they're telling the president, it's like he's like, we have to choose who's going to live and die, and they're like, no, it's a computer program will choose. It's okay, that's fine.
Yes,
because then no one can
hands
be
are
held
clean.
responsible.
Yeah.
It's like you cannot allow that. Anyway, sorry.
So were you getting to why Twitter's great?
There's a million of them, but
There's two that stick out.
Okay.
The first is Manhattan police or whatever is like, hey, if you see someone who looks like this or
Got
whatever.
a big fat reward, folks.
Yeah, and one of the top comments was, I would look, sorry, but he's not in my network.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of that.
That was good. And then
There's a lot of that. Waiting on claim approval for thoughts and prayers.
And then the other one was, by the end of the day, everyone thought Eli Manning did it.
The guy kind of looks like Eli Manning a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Eli Manning, he posted a picture on the New York subway that morning, and people were like, "Oh, where were you at 6:45?"
Yeah, the thing I was going to say about the reward is it's $10,000, and I saw a tweet that had like 10,000 posts. It was like, "You're really expecting me to find and turn in John Wick for 10K? Like, do you see what this guy just did?" And there's a whole lot of like, was it a professional hitman? Was it not? I mean, obviously it was somebody hired. But then you get like gun people breaking down what he did wrong, this and that.
I don't know if it was someone hired because are you going to talk about what he wrote on the shell casings?
Yes. So they do have is it shell casings?
Or the bullets. It might be the bullets.
Because I think he picked his casings up maybe.
Yeah,
but on the
yeah,
ammunition, the phrase delay, deny, defend, which is commonly used by attorneys and insurance industry critics to describe tactics used to avoid paying claims. So he went like full Boondock
Feels John
Saints.
Q. Feels very John Q.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So there was a message being sent.
That's interesting because, yeah, the timing of the lawsuit, it seemed like he was about to squeal, which made people think that he was targeted.
But the thing is, once you start entertaining conspiracy theories, which a lot of which are not even really conspiracy theories, you have to ask yourself, okay, what is a red herring here? Right? Like, let's say that I was someone with UnitedHealthcare and I was like, this guy's going to ruin this for all of us. He's got to go. Well, I would want it to look like some sort of Antifa leftist who's upset about the way that the system is working.
That's a good point.
And so, I mean, I guess it's a good point, but also it means that anything is possible. Like, it's not, I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying you could really say anything and we'd be like, I could buy that. Good point.
Yeah, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
Yeah, and who knows? Who knows? But yeah, they have. So there was another angle to this where there was some kid on the internet who lives in New York, and he'd been scraping data from City Bike. Like City Bike is their, I don't know, what do we call ours here? Lime, yeah. Except I believe they are done through the city. And, if you can get into their website, or you can, and you know how to do code, you can get the data and you can locate any of those bikes and see how much they travel, where they travel. And he went viral for being like, I think I found this bike. And it was like, first of all, why are you publicly using your name saying that you found an assassin in New York City? Like, is this a good idea? But news networks were actually like running with it. And it turned out to not be true.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know that. Like he was just lying, or he was just
No,
wrong?
I think he was just wrong. He definitely has the data because you can see in that video that he posted. But I think he was just wrong. There's another image I have. I think initially I got sacked on this. This is a post on, I think I put Instagram on there, Rob, but it's actually Facebook. It's an image that UnitedHealthcare posted. We are deeply sad and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Bryan Thompson, BT. The CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Bryan was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who worked with him. We're working closely with the New York PD. Ask for your patience during this difficult time. Hearts go out to his family, everyone close to him. And the post I saw said this had been deleted because of the ratio. It actually hasn't. But if you can see down there, we're talking about a post of a man who was murdered in cold blood, and the ha-ha emoji has been used. At that time, that reaction of ha-ha, 19,000 times. We are today up to 35,000. As opposed to 2,000 sad faces.
They're not doing that over on Blue Sky, are they, BJ?
Well, I don't
know.
Blue Sky seems pretty lefty, too. And the crazy thing is the frustration with privatized healthcare and what passes for public healthcare should not be a liberal issue. I mean, I know so many people, conservatives, who get absolutely effed by these things. And for whatever reason, it ends up being a lefty thing, I guess because it would help a lot of people. And, you know, sometimes you kind of just only want to help.
Because it would help people that don't look like you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's like, do you want to deal with like government bureaucracy with your healthcare? It's like, have you tried to call a healthcare company?
Dude, yeah.
Have you tried like I have Cadillac insurance with the guild, and I was on the phone with them for an hour about a simple thing. You know, last week, and I was like calculating how much money am I going to get, and is it worth my hourly rate that I make if I was working? You know, I was doing the math in my head. It's like, maybe I should just end this call and just eat it so I can work.
Yeah, let alone that's dealing with the healthcare, which is a beating. But then even they'll say, oh, in Canada, you can't get right into the doc. Like I can't get right into the doctor.
Yeah.
Like even if my
who are these people?
My primary care guy's like, you got to go to a specialist for this, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll call him, and yeah, I can get in 2 months.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, but there's long lines in Canada. Oh, okay. You know how long like I had to wait for my 2:00 appointment? You're still there at 4. Come on.
It's all these Californians that moved here.
Is that why?
Yeah, that's true too.
They're all in Austin, though, aren't they?
I think so.
There was a funny tweet to reference this tune for the second time in today's show where somebody had a video that I saw. It had thousands of retweets. I'm like, all right, I'll watch this. It said, my reaction to the cold-blooded killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Bryan Thompson. And when you hit play on the video, it was just a guy kind of frozen, like he was about to start talking, and the only thing that was playing was the hold music from the Cisco Systems phone line, like the ding, 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 ding.
That's awesome.
Because you're just going to be on hold. You get it? I saw another really creepy thing. If you go to Google, or let's just say Google, and type in UnitedHealthcare CEO low profile and hit news, the dystopian effect will really set in for you, because there are no less than 20 headlines. UnitedHealthcare CEO Bryan Thompson kept a low profile. Kept a low profile. Kept a low public profile. Kept a low profile. Like, all of these news agencies somehow got like the exact same bit of information about. Look at that. They're everywhere. And it's just somebody screenshotted all of them, put them together. It's like, how does that happen?
Yeah, because you're just stealing from the original AP story or something.
I mean, I guess. But CBS is going to steal from, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me.
I get that they're trying to say that, oh, this isn't a guy who's like notorious or on the news or that everyone's mad at. It's someone you've never heard of, right? And it's okay you haven't heard of him. He kept a low profile. I get that they're trying to like say this is why it feels, you know, super targeted. You know, this isn't like a politician. This isn't someone who's in the news. But it is strange they're using like the same line. Maybe it's from the United Healthcare.
Yeah, from the website or something. Yeah. Does anybody have a medium profile? I think we do. We're more medium.
Yeah, low on, you know, fame, accolades, but people do know who we are to an extent, so it'd be tough for us to say low profile. Definitely not high profile.
But I mean, Right, but we'll definitely, tweet out stuff and try to. We want to be
Right.
noticed because we want
Not BT.
followers and all that. Yeah,
Not that guy.
no,
He kept a low profile.
yeah.
It's a crazy story, and I don't know. I definitely it was just a wild day on the internet because yes, you probably shouldn't want anyone to be killed, but then you can always do the Hitler thing, right? If you want to try to prove or disprove some logical fallacy, whatever the case is, and just say like, okay, well, what if it were Hitler? Is it okay then? Because once you say yes, now you can work back to what is the spectrum of where it is okay. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can either say no, it's nobody. It's okay for them to just be killed when they're walking down the street.
But what if Hitler was killed? But there was another real he wasn't the only bad guy
yeah,
in Germany. So, but the other his second in command he was actually a good military leader too, and he would not have deployed troops
to Poland.
on Russia and.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have tried to fight that war on 2 or 3 fronts.
Well, because that's what a lot of people were saying
And then-
yesterday was like, well, how do you know, again, this wasn't his own people? They're like, we got to get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
And incidentally, their stock did have a pretty sharp spike right after he was killed, which brought
Went up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That could just be that it's in the news. I don't know. But a lot of people, of course, went to Bryan Thompson died doing what he loved, increasing shareholder value.
Well, it does seem like that's what gets people killed is money. As much as we're saying, I was saying, it sounds like a John Q situation, wrote this on the bullets kind of a thing. But then to what you were saying, Jake, it's like, okay, but who has, it's like, wouldn't you want it to look like that? Just last night saw there was a double feature of The Insider, the Michael Mann movie about the tobacco whistleblower that Russell Crowe plays, and Heat back to back last night in theater, which was awesome. And Michael Mann was there anyway. But The Insider,
You're just going to
watching that
casually
again-
drop that you just went to a movie? You went to go see Heat last night with Michael Mann there?
It was fantastic. Yes, front row. But in seeing The Insider again, I was reminded, because that's of course based on true events, what they put this man through because of money and about tobacco, about nicotine. It's about something that doesn't, the stakes are, yes, you could argue they lied about nicotine, whatever. The stakes are the money. And remembering how much those companies were worth at that time, like Mann talked about, because it was made by Disney, he talked about that the real tobacco company, whatever it's called, I can't remember, was worth more than Disney. So Disney was like, they could own us, just like CBS was worried about. It's like, that's what people kill over is money, So anyway, I'm swinging back your way, Jake. I'm swinging back to that it's United that did it. Specifically, Jake Kemp, not drunk, said that UnitedHealthcare murdered.
You need that stipulation.
I want you to know that I do this little Mav show with Machine, Mike Marshall, Roundball Talk, and we give Skin some words to use on the broadcast every week, and one of them has really taken off to where Followell's using it, Harp seems to love it, and it's simply the phrase "the action is the juice" from the scene in Heat where they're going to decide if they're all going to do it.
Yeah, for me, the action is the juice.
It's just incredible. Sizemore at his best. All right, there's your news, Dan.
One more thing.
Oh, what
you
did I
mentioned
forget?
it before during the show, and Rob just reminded me.
What did I do? I'm sorry.
Does VJ have any thoughts on the 7.0 magnitude earthquake?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, it's Northern California, so he probably didn't feel it. But
No, I did not feel an earthquake, so I didn't even know about it. I got up and just prepped for this. I haven't gotten on the news.
What's 7.0? Is that
that's quite
That's
major?
high.
That's quite high. To the point where they are issuing like tsunami alerts. This may be literally 2 minutes ago, tsunami warning canceled.
canceled?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
This affect
when you
the,
have a
49ers game?
7.0 earthquake right off the coast, I think there's a pretty serious concern.
It was near San Francisco.
Even further north than that. Coastal areas of California and Oregon. Is that where Humboldt County is? How do you say that? Do you say the H?
Yeah, like Murder Mountain. Yeah, where they grow.
I think
all
they grow
the
weed.
weed.
Yeah. So yeah,
The
everyone's
Dumb
safe.
Zone News. like, and subscribe.
Ba, 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 ba.